Yeah, we're live. Okay. Well, good morning. Good morning, Judy. Welcome back. Morning, Hal, and morning to everybody online if someone is watching. um, so, well, it's springtime. so, um, I don't know how you all feeling, but I feel like it's a new beginning, and hopefully we'll have a good year this year. So our theme for this year is a healthy mind. I think our theme has always been on the healthy mind, but the first 2 years when we did these sessions, it was mainly to focus on the basic. And as we practice more and more, we can go deeper into the mind. So we have talked about the 4 pillars of the healthy mind, which are awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. Yeah, insight and purpose. So today I'm talking about, it's also part of what we have talked about, and that is the awareness. But based on scientific research, it has been shown that if we want to have a healthy mind, we have to take care of our mind and exercise our mind, just like we exercise our muscles or our other activities to have a healthy body. We have to exercise our mind too. And the research shows that if you exercise your mind, you can change your mindset, you can change your habits, you can actually change the person that you are. So how do we do it? Of course, we have to have the awareness, like we said, the first pillar. But once you have the awareness, what do you need to do? You know what you need to do? Yes, you have a plan, and then what? Planning is still the thought process. You put it into action, you practice, right? And you practice, and if you practice and practice and practice and practice, then changes are going to go on in your brain, in your mind, and that will lead to good results. And what do we call that? Practicing, 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 practicing. What do we call that? Persistence. You don't just do it one day and then stop and then come back another day, 2 weeks later, and do another session of meditation, and then stop and then repeat it a month later. That is not going to get to the results that you want very quickly. So consistency and persistence are much needed in our practice in order to get to a healthy mind. Now, when you look after your mind, it's like looking after a garden. Now, if you want to have a garden full of beautiful flowers, i.e. positive thoughts, what do you have to do? You have to prune, you have to cut out all the not needed parts of the garden, but also weed. You have to do the weeding. But have you ever come across this situation where you see the weed and you think it's the flower? or you see a flower and you think it's a weed. Yes. So you see the flower and you think it's a weed, and you're going to remove it. No, right? Because I'm going to keep it. It's a plant that is going to produce beautiful flower. So I'm going to keep it, even though it's a weed. And you won't know until that weed grew big and gave you nothing but an not so good eyesight, right? And then when you see the flower, but you mistake it for a weed, what do? You remove it. You thought it's the weed, so you remove it, and then what happened?
What gets upset?
The end result is that you don't have beautiful flower to see, right? But how do you recognize what's what? Like, I mean, yes, recognition. Yeah.
Picture tells you what it is.
Yeah, recognition. So knowledge, right? Knowledge will give you that. If I don't have knowledge about plants, I wouldn't have the ability to distinguish what are flowers and what are weeds. Yeah. So, but in order to have knowledge, what do you have to do? You have to study. You have to learn, and you have to develop the awareness. So when we look after our mind, we need to have the awareness, and we need to have the knowledge of what's negative, what's positive, what's good, and what's bad. And I think this week in my office, there was a lot of drama. Of course, it's not for me and it's not for my patient. I just want to go and do my job and just go and take care of patients. But the drama that was brought on by staff just taught me a lesson. I said, well, okay, my staff are all adults, but just because they are adults, they don't always have the same awareness, the same mindset, and therefore their actions are not the same either, right? They're not on the same wavelength. And you watch and you watch and you watch, and you will say, okay, I see this in this person, I see this in this person, and this person is maybe lacking some awareness of her action and her words, and this person is really, really good at having awareness of her action and words, right? So, but you wouldn't know that if you don't have a good awareness. If you have the same mindset as this person over here who don't have the awareness about the action and thought, you would think that this person was right? You would think that this person action was justified when it's not, like speaking badly, calling other person by names, thrashing out, and giving tantrum. Well, if you are in the mindset with not a lot of awareness of what's the right thing to do, you may think that this person did the right thing because you think that this person have the right to act like that. But if you have the awareness of this person who knows what's the right thing to do, no matter what happened, you don't call people's name, you don't shout at them, you don't thrash them, and you approach things with peace. Then you would say, okay, this person did the right thing, and this person did the wrong thing, right? But why is it that we have drama in the workplace or in our family is just because everybody have the different level of awareness. And if they're not aware of their thoughts and action, they cannot change it. So in training our mind to be healthy, we need to be aware of what's going on and make necessary changes, so you can have more and more positive thoughts that leads to positive action, that leads to positive results. So I think it's easy to say. It's not easy to do. And if we don't tell ourselves to practice day in, day out, day in, day out, we won't get there, right? I was listening to the podcast this morning from a mindset mentor, and he talked a little bit about our mind. Now, how many kind of minds do we have? What is the mind? Is the mind our brain?
Partially.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably a tangible part of the mind that's physical or spiritual.
Mm-hmm. So we all know that there is a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, right? We always say, oh, subconsciously, I knew it. But consciously, I didn't show that I knew it. Something like that, right? So there are two minds, two aspects of the mind, depending on how you look at it. So there is a conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And how much do you think the conscious mind and the subconscious mind play in our everyday lives?
Huge.
But what proportion? So this is all based on research, according to Rob Dial, who has that podcast, and he did this podcast all based on scientific research results. So it has been shown that the conscious mind only plays about 5% of what's going on in our lives. The subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of what's going on in our lives. No, the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is automatic 50% of the time. That's what the research shows.
That's because it's lower brain functions, right? It's the body systems that the subconscious mind is supervising, and the conscious mind is more higher level thought processes, interactions with people.
Yeah, the subconscious mind is responsible for what shapes our habit, our action, and so on. Apparently.
So it is the child part of the brain. It's the needy part of the brain.
The needy part of the brain?
Yeah, so it's the one that looks out for something. Gotta eat, gotta sleep, gotta get things.
Yeah. So to have a healthy mind, I think we have to train our conscious mind to become a greater part of our lives too. Because if we let our subconscious mind the automatic mind decide everything, then it will go with whatever instant feeling it has, right? So, instant feeling, I'm angry, I'm going to show my angry, I'm going to shout, I'm going to yell, that's the subconscious mind jump right into the automatic gear. But the conscious mind, when you have that awareness, oh, okay, I'm aware that this is going on, my subconscious mind, my automatic mind is in the gear where it's going to lead me down the path of showing anger. You can change, and you can tell yourself, no, I'm not going to do that, right? But that's, again, you have to be aware of your conscious, your mind need to be awake, the consciousness, right? It needs to be awake and be aware of what's going on. And this is where mindfulness meditation comes in, because we always know that the mindfulness meditation is the practice where we cultivate the awareness of our senses, including our mind, because our mind is one of the six senses. And the more we practice, the better we are. And at having all the positivities coming into our life, doing the right thing, thinking the right thing, weeding out all the negative thoughts, weeding out all the negative action, and so on. So, and we talked a lot in the past about grief, and I brought in the example of what's going on in my practice. There's a turnover of people, and sometimes I just wonder why they just don't get on, even though there is only a small group of people. It's a small practice, a small group of people, and it's not what I do really, because what I do is I work with patients all the time, and it's just the staff. And I think it's because people are not on the same wavelength. They don't have the same awareness, they don't have the same goal and action, and it's really hard to get everybody to go on the same path, so that people can get on. I think most of the time they leave the practice is not because of poor pay or being treated badly by me, but it's just the friction between them, and it's hard. And I see that every day. I see it quite often in the practice over the years. But no matter how much I recommend my staff to practice mindfulness meditation, I can't get them to do it. Really, I can't get them to do it. And they have to want to do it, I think. Don't you think? I think we have to want to do it. Yeah. But mindfulness is a tool. I'm not saying that it is the only answer to everything. It's not. For example, I often said to my patient that if you practice deep breathing exercises, it will help to lower your anxiety. And it's true. I mean, scientific research showed that. But what if that person has something going on that affects their nervous system, right? Mindfulness meditation, I think it helps to reduce the symptoms, but until we get that root cause, such as a viral infection in the brain, or or fungal infection that releases the toxin that affect their brain. Until that kind of infection is cleared, mindfulness meditation is not going to get them all healed up, right? But every single tool that we can use to help that person to have less suffering, we should really use it all, because you never know until you use all the tools that the person will heal. So mindfulness meditation is a medical tool as recommended by Harvard Medical School because it's scientifically proven to work, to make people feel better. You know, people with diseases and people without diseases, they all feel better with this practice. So with that, I would like to just encourage everybody to be more persistent and consistent in the practice. If you believe in mindfulness meditation, I think you have to have a strong belief that this is what's going to help me, and I am going to do it no matter what in order to see results. If they don't have the belief that it will help them, they will not start, though. I think the belief is very, very important. Because you know that you can't see results if you don't practice, and if you don't have the belief that it's going to give you results, you're not going to practice, right? So with that, I'm going to lead you into this practice, and during this practice, I would like you to bring the awareness to your thoughts. Allow your thoughts to come in and out as they wish, but be an observer of your thoughts, and then analyze your thoughts. Recognize what thoughts are good, what thoughts are bad, and when you come across the negative thoughts, you see them for what they are, and without judgment and without judgments. Okay, so if you see a negative thought that make you feel very uncomfortable, just see them for what they are, and don't start feeling frustrated or anger. Try not to have any, negative emotion attached to your thoughts. So attachment is not good for you. I think attachment will bring suffering to your life, and you learn to be detached for whatever it is. And just mentioning about attachment and detachment, that too, I have to go through that experience last week when my staff left, right? My staff left, and I felt a moment of suffering there when I become attached to them. I'm used to see them every day. Now they go, I miss them. And that's because I'm becoming attached to them, to their presence. So I have to recognize things for what they are, and move on, and not to let the attachment bring suffering into my life, right? So let's take deep breaths in and out, and assume a comfortable position. So for those who are at home watching, you can assume any position: sitting, laying, standing, or even walking. And return to yourself. Start to focus on your breath. Take deep breaths in, slowly and deeply. And you can close your eyes if you want to. Because you can't close your eyes when you're walking. You have to see where you're going. And breathing out slowly and fully. Making sure that your out breath is longer than the in breath. Start bringing the awareness to your breath. The way you are breathing. Whether you're breathing in slowly and deeply and with a relaxed attitude. It is something that you are enjoying doing. In this present moment, you are fully aware of your breath, of how the air enters your nose, how it fills up your lungs, how it gives you oxygen, and how that oxygen goes through the membranes of the air space, the air bubbles in your lungs, how that oxygen binds to your red cells and start to travel throughout your body along the circulation system. And as you breathe out slowly and fully, you imagine how the carbon dioxide leaves your red cells to enter your air space in the lungs, come up the airways and exit through the nose. This is part of nature, your breath. And through your breath, you see how you are so connected to nature. You take in the oxygen from the air around you and you bring it inside your body so that your body is instantly linked to the surrounding and to the universe. And what you give out through your breath, the carbon dioxide, imagine where it goes. It goes to the leaves of all the plants and the trees. We feed on the oxygen, but the plants feed on carbon dioxide. Again, what was once part of us is now part of the plants. So we are all together in this universe. By now, after breathing in and out deeply and slowly, you may feel a sense of relaxation, a sense of letting go. Your shoulders may feel relaxed. They're not raised up and tensed around your neck anymore. Your breaths become a very rhythmic action, in and out, deep and slow. You may become more aware of your body, how your skin feels, how the muscles in your arms and legs feel. How your belly rises up and down. You may feel with the oxygen immersing every organs in your body that they are beginning to have more life, more energy. This moment that you return to yourself and be with yourself. You come to know more about you. This is the moment that you are taking care of yourself. You take care of yourself so you can take care of others more effectively. Deep breathing in and slowly breathing out. In this present moment that you are on the journey of exploring yourself, returning to yourself, reflecting on the events in your life, you become more aware of your thoughts and your feelings. What was positive and what was negative. This is the moment that you are purifying your mind. recognizing the negative feeling and negative action so that you can make a promise to yourself that you will try not to repeat it in the future, because you will have more awareness of the present moment. You will have more awareness of your thought process and your perception of what's going on. So that you don't allow your subconscious mind with the automatic machinery to jump into reaction. Through this practice of the mind, you will have more confidence in yourself, you will have stronger belief you believe in the goodness that is happening in your life. You believe that they will not happen if you didn't have the goodness in your thought to begin with. There is a saying that your thoughts and your action mold you into who you are. Oftentimes, we know what's in the person from what comes out of that person's mouth, right? You can only give what you have. If your body and your mind is filled with anger, that is what you will give. Anger will come out through your speech and your action. If you don't have anger within you, it will not come out. You may feel that you have the reason to be angry, but you have control of your speech and action, and you can decide not to be angry. And the reason that you can be angry is when you lose the awareness of your conscious mind. Deep breaths in. Slowly breathing out. We often go through our lives knowing what we want. Our mind always tells us what we want. We want this, we want that. But not many of us know how to make it happen, how to achieve what we want. How to manifest what we want into reality. We cannot expect change doing the same thing all over again. We know that. But how do we break our habit of doing things the same day in, day out, and expect different results? Through this practice of returning to ourself, returning to our senses, we can start making changes, beginning from the thoughts. Deep breaths in and slowly breathing out. Keep breathing in, slowly breathing out. Saying also that when we exercise our muscles, we have to keep moving, keep active. Our muscles will atrophy if we sit still or lay down all the time. But for our mind to be stronger, we need stillness to reflect. We need it to be still so we can be the observer of our thoughts and weed out the negative thoughts. So in this moment of stillness, we take the opportunity to strengthen our mind. First step is to raise awareness of our thoughts. Second step is the practice of breathing out the negative thoughts without judgment. And the third and final step is the affirmation that you say to yourself. You may say, I am not going to be an angry person, no matter what. Affirmation means repeating it to yourself over and over again. So that thought is like a seed being sowed deep in our mind. And the more we water it, the more it will grow. Life responds to nurture. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others. No matter what, you don't say harsh words to another human being. And you have to tell yourself that over and over and over again, even when you are hurt. So for the next 10 minutes or so, I will let you practice in silence. Remember taking deep breaths in and out. few breaths, I invite you to return to this present moment, to yourself. Bring your awareness of your senses in the body. You can start moving your hands and feet if you like. Slowly open your eyes. So that was just over half an hour of practice, I think. Let's rub our eyes and massage our face. I haven't done this in a while during our session, so keep your palms on your eyes. Feel the heat from your palms that gets transmitted to your eyes, and then just massage your forehead and your cheeks. And continue to take deep breaths in and out. And here, the pressure point between your thumbs and your index finger, you rub them a few times. Like I usually, when I meditate at home, I would do this 30 times on each side. It's the pressure point. I think it relieves pain and also relax. Helps sleep too, I think. Yeah. Mm? Yeah. Okay, so we can stretch. So we can stretch sitting down and stretch out our back by take deep breath in, bring both arms up. And as you breathe out, you bend down, touch your toes. And hold there for a few seconds. And take deep breath in as you move up your legs up to your thighs. And breathe out. Okay, so we'll do a few times like that. Deep breath in. And breathe out. Bend down. Touch your toes. Deep breath in, going up your thighs, and breathe out. Relax. Bring your shoulders down. Deep breath in one more time. And breathe out. Bend down. And breathe in, go up your legs, and then breathe out. And do a few twists. So I would cross one leg over the other leg like this, and then take deep breath in with your arms up, and breathe out. Turn to, so if you cross your right leg over the left leg, then you turn to the right, and then push your left elbow against the left knee, and then stretch out your lower back like that. Deep breath in and out. And in and out. So you hold that stretch for about 2 or 3 breaths, and then deep breath in, bring your arms back up, and then out, bring your arms back down. So we'll do that 2 more times again. Deep breath in, arms up, breath out, turn to the right and push your elbow against the right knee, and hold that and breathe in and out 2 or 3 times. Hold that stretch. And then deep breath in, bring your arms back up. And deep breath, slow breath out, go down. And then one more time, okay? So we do 3 times each side. And breathe out and hold and push. And keep breathing in and out. And deep breath in, bring your arms back up. And breathe out. Now switch leg. Cross your left leg over the other leg and then deep breath in. And turn to the left side and push your right elbow against the left knee and hold that stretch for 2 or 3 breaths. And deep breath in, with your arms up. And breathe out, arms down. 2 more times. Deep breath in, arms up. Breathe out, turn and twist and push and hold. And breathe. And then deep breath in with your arms up. And breathe out, arms down. 1 more time. Deep breath in, arms up. And breathe out, turn and push and hold and breathe. And relax. Okay, so that's that. Sitting down, we can do some stretching, standing up, and then we do a few round of walking, and then we'll end. Okay, so let's stretch. Do a few stretches like this. Deep breath in, and go down to the ground like this, and breathe out, straighten, and in, I think, and then out, going down, and then deep breath in and out. Okay, 1 more time. Okay, deep breath in and out, going down. Breathe in, straighten your back. Breathe out, going down. Breathe in, going all the way back up. And breathe out. Okay. So we'll do just 2 circles of walking meditation. And with this one, with the breathing exercise, I invite you to just focus on gratitude. So bring your awareness to your thought and bring the thoughts of gratitude as you walk. You can think about whatever you are grateful for in your life. When we do this practice, we become more aware of the things that we are grateful for, that we often not think about. This gratitude exercise, as we walk, can be practiced anywhere, in our daily life. I think this is the end of the 2 rounds. So let's have a few moments to share the experience and your thoughts before we end the practice for today. I know there are only 3 of us, but I find these discussions very helpful. So how was your practice, Hal?
I was thinking about dogs and the office.
Dogs and the office.
Yeah, it's like dogs don't have awareness, right? They're happy to be there. They don't know when they mess up. And I was thinking about what you were saying about the office. I think it's a natural thing for even a small group of people to try to figure out their relationships with one another. Sometimes that can be messy. Everybody loves you. When new joins the team, that kind of changes the dynamic and it takes people a while to settle the patterns. So anyhow, that's what I was thinking about.
Yes, I think big companies are now bringing in mindfulness meditation and teaching into their companies now. I think Google does that, and which other companies have mindfulness meditation training for their employees?
Well, Lily used to do that, not so much meditation, but just in terms of your emotions.
Yep, that helps. Maybe I will bring that into the practice too. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Every time calling them to have someone, they have someone sitting down, looking but not doing anything, and then the bill kind of go down a few dollars. Yeah, it's okay. It's still from 100 to 200.
Oh my goodness.
You got a leak.
Oh.
We look for the leak, nothing, really. And so then they didn't really first, they send out people, and then there's no report after that, like what they find and what they do, nothing. But then it's go down to up to 300 and then go down to 280 or 270. So I'm okay with paying that because they can I mean, whatever amount you use for water, they calculate the amount of sewage according to that. So it's really high too. Like water could be 100 and then sewer could be that kind of ratio. And then just like this one, I received a $425.
So you were upset.
So I was so upset, and then talk about you say about subconscious mind and be thinking or behave what. I mean, I cannot be not angry, but understanding. So people people on the other side, oh, I called again yesterday and talked about that. Put it out twice and then do nothing. And I didn't have time or think about to call back and then today that bill will go up to 40.
Oh goodness, yeah.
So they keep saying around something else. Something wrong with the meter.
Which company is this?
This is a subdivision. And then the utility bill company is a different state. They read everything over radar, thing they call radar, not kind of computerized reading. And then when we testing, the one flush of the toilet is showing like more than 10 gallons of water.
Oh wow.
So
It's
it's
going.
Really?
Problem.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm sure the meter is wrong, but they've done nothing. They were so mad when I called them. Talk about, okay, be mindful, be thinking, so not to say bad thing or angry or control your anger. Not control the angry when I'm talking with them.
Yeah.
But then after that, I say, okay, maybe they didn't do something. It's not even their fault. Maybe the meter fault. You know, the meter, something wrong with the meter. They did nothing. I'm hoping to talk to the meter. Or if pick up the phone, call center. They're just like, yeah, I put in request for them to review your case. That's it. I got that same answer.
And they're out of state, you said. They're out of state. They're out of state.
Yeah. Yeah, out of state. And then the bill they send me, I requested to send by email. It's not that something you email back to complain something. So I have to call and then calling. Whatever they put down the note to the manager, it's not the same as the way I'm expressing and saying, you do this and that. So I don't know.
But it's not Centerpoint Energy or some company like that.
It's called utility bill. State is a. There's something like that. I mean, yeah, I do meditation, but things like that. I've done nothing.
Yeah.
And then it's keep increasing. That's my home where I live. The bill of water and sewer is under $100. Like under $100. Many years it's the same.
Yeah.
And how come this one, 3-bedroom and 4 people live in there, like 2 adults and 2 kids, all day? They say, well, we all in school and working. We just spend only at night. But we've been requesting. Still paying, but this time I say, if you do nothing, I'll pay. But then if I don't pay,
they cut it. Yes.
They did not actually turn my off. They sent me one time. I let the rental pay that, but then they didn't pay.
Yeah.
So then after 3 years of not paying, they sent me to the court myself.
Oh my.
They sent to the.
Oh
They
dear.
didn't even notice me, but then I one day received a letter from the lawyer. I was not paying the water bill. I said, they pay, not me. And they said, oh no, you're the owner. You have to pay for this.
Oh.
Yeah. So I pay a lot for. I mean, just their fee. Just agree to pay at the end, but then their fee. And after that, I recollect them, those people. They agreed to pay me monthly for collection, like $200 a month. But at the whole year of last year, I paid month, and this year it just jumped up to $400. No, there's no yard for water, anything. There's no yard.
So that situation. But if you think,
Well,
I know
because but if you think about that situation when you get on the phone with somebody, and I understand that when you are on the phone with somebody and you become angry, this was before the days I practiced or I learned how to practice mindfulness meditation. When I get on the phone with the insurance trying to get treatment approved or test approved for my patient, and I got passed from one person to the next. I stayed on the phone for about an hour, sometimes 2 hours, talking to 6 people and got me nowhere. And for very silly reasons. And I mean, in the past years before mindfulness meditation, I would get very upset. I would get very upset. But now I thought back, if I had talked in a very angry voice and I talked in a calm voice, would the result be the same? If I am angry, would it make the other people work better or for me or not? I mean, the outcome result, yeah.
Anger
So,
kicks in
so
fight or flight, right, syndrome.
yeah, well, but people do that. I mean, I can understand people do that all the time. And um, some people are naturally calm and some people are not. But for the people who are not naturally calm, if they use mindfulness meditation, I wasn't naturally calm. I had to tell you that. I was born a very feisty person. But I have to learn. I have to learn mindfulness meditation and use that as a tool to calm myself down, because now with mindfulness, I thought, okay, looking back, reflecting on it, that anger, that angry voice that I talked to somebody on the phone didn't bring good results. It got me upset. It probably is not pleasant for the people to hear it at the other end. They have to follow protocol the companies put out. If you have listened to the news about UHCs, they have protocol, they have things that their employees do follow, and they have to follow, otherwise they get fired. So when you start to think like that, you have more compassion for the people at the other end of the phone. Okay, they're doing this because the company makes them do it that way. They have to follow the protocol, and if they don't, they get fired, they lose their job. So raising your voice is probably just making their lives more difficult. They go home at the end of the day feeling really bad. So I mean, okay, I choose. That's a choice. I choose. And it's very frustrating, very frustrating to do power authorization for a patient on the phone with someone who their job is to deny. 90-something% of the time they will deny, and you try to. But I've learned now that, I've got to be aware that going into this phone call, there will be denial. The art of it getting denied is higher than the art of it getting approved. So I have to prepare myself mentally for that and try to talk in a more peaceful voice. And the outcome is probably the same. Whether you're angry or not, the outcome is the same. So why not choose, doing it in the soft tone? But it's when I lose awareness, it's when I forget to practice mindfulness, that I get into those moments, the automatic subconscious mind get me into that feisty mood, which is not good. Yeah. So with that, I will end today's practice, and I wish everybody a very peaceful, happy weekend. I encourage everybody to keep practicing, be persistent, be consistent, and have a beautiful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining.